Be less petty with your time.
Hi, welcome back to Be Less Petty TV. I am your host, Kellye Howard, and it is a new year. That is right. I haven't seen you since last year. Happy New Year. 2019 goes on deck. We all focused, right? So, with that being said, I want to dive right into be less petty about relationship goals. If anybody follows my podcast, then you know this last season was Be Less Petty about relationships. We got in deep. We talked about communication. We talked about infidelity. We talked about sex. We talked about self-love within relationships. All that good stuff. So I wanted to make sure that we are starting January out focusing on healthy relationship. I know y'all look at Instagram and y'all see these hashtag relationship goals and these unrealistic ass pictures where it looks like everybody is always happy and they're always doing everything together and everything is just so amazing and there's never any beef or any fights, and that's all bullshit. Okay, take it from somebody that's been married for 5 years, together for 8. I know that relationships can be a beautiful thing, but they also have their ups and downs. So we have to know how to manage those relationships. So I'm going to give you some tips of what I've learned in the podcast, Be Less Petty About Relationships, here on this particular month with Be Less Petty TV. The first thing we are going to dive into is being less petty about communication, because I started to realize that my relationship was a little toxic, and not because of any external factors or just because it was a bad relationship, but mainly because I was in the habit of treating my mate with this aggression. I grew up in a household where yelling and arguments were normal, and then people would play backgammon and drink a beer as if nothing had just happened. Like, that was normal communication. And I started thinking, like, damn, do I want that for the rest of my life? Do I want to be yelling back and forth with my husband forever, ever? You know, I don't want that for my relationship. So I had to check myself and say, Kellye, what are you doing in this relationship that's adding to that? So with that being said, be less petty with your communication. If you don't want to be spoken to in a very aggressive or mean or toxic way, then don't speak to your mate that way. Don't yell at your mate. Don't disrespect your mate. Say please and thank you. Those are words that should still be used with your mate. Now, can you open this door? Please. Like, they deserve respect. If anyone in your life deserve respect, it should definitely be somebody that you laid up with. You know what I mean? Like, honestly. So we're going to really dig into our relationship goals and how to be less petty with them and how to create more healthier, unique relationships that hopefully can add to our bottom line in life, that can add to our joy and our happiness. And this is so habitual. It's such a habit. We get in such a habit of speaking a certain way that this is something you're going to have to actively work on. You're going to have to be mindful of how you talk to people. So that means swallowing your pride when you fuck up. So if you yell at somebody or you say something wrong and they check you on it, you have to acknowledge that, yes, you were in the wrong and you'll try to do better next time. It's okay to have mistakes. We all do it. Be patient with yourself. It takes time for lasting change, okay? So remember that in your relationship. Next time you want to cut your husband's head off or stab your wife in the chest or whatever the case may be, remember that you create that energy in your house, in your space, in your life. So if you're doing it unto others, don't be surprised when they give you that shit back, okay? So that is one of the tips for the month of January. This month, we're focusing specifically on relationships. And please, go check out the podcast. It was very informative, very insightful. I myself learned a lot, and I think that it'll definitely help you to have a healthier relationship. Me and my husband co-host on the podcast, and we got real up close and personal about a lot of things. So yes, thank you so much for tuning in. I am your host, Kellye Howard, and you've been watching Be Less Petty TV. Peace.
With your mind, be less petty with your blame. All that petty shit is lame. Be less petty with your friends. Love first, make amends. Be less petty with your life. Be less petty with your wife. Okay. Be less petty with your mom. Be less petty with your job. Be less petty. Be less petty. Be less petty, baby.